have done some exceptional things within our organization. And whenever we have that opportunity, we always want to take time, stop the clock, kind of get everybody together and say thanks and congratulations. Today we are having the privilege of recognizing a number of members with the Army Commendation Medal. And in addition to that, we have a number of 4 individuals who will be promoted or advanced in grade. Let me spend about half a minute talking about awards and promotions as I envision them. We give awards primarily to recognize people for past accomplishments. If you've done a tremendous job in your current job or in a previous job, we want to make sure that we pat you on the back and give you some symbol, which you may wear on your uniform, which says we recognize your accomplishments and your performance. Promotions are slightly different. Promotion is kind of a combination. I would say probably 75% for past accomplishments, having done your job well, 75% for what we look at as your ability to handle greater responsibilities and authority in the future. So if somebody's done a great job, doesn't necessarily mean they get promoted. They get an award. But if they show the potential for the next higher grade, then we obviously want to promote them, give them an opportunity to function at that level for the betterment of our organization. We're privileged also to have the families with us here today. The families will be appropriately recognized, and as well as participate in the ceremony. Later on today at 2 o'clock, kind of a sad occasion in one way, we'll be lowering the flag of one of our units, the 140th Transportation Battalion, and we'll have a ceremony on the floor downstairs, so I'd like to have you join us down there. We're going to have a kind of a mini reception here, and that ceremony we also have the privilege of having my boss, the Undersecretary of the Army, the Honorable John Shannon, who's going to come and not only help us with that, but we've also got some of our more senior individuals who are being recognized for their accomplishments in a similar award ceremony to what you'll see today. I felt that because we don't have the privilege of having Mr. Shannon here that much, that we would take advantage of his presence to recognize a couple of our flag officers, and we think that's appropriate. So why don't we go ahead and get started with the ceremony, if you would please. And
successes the District of Columbia Army National Guard units have achieved through its skillful management of the state staff. John Wesley, Colonel 579-54-7711. The following award is announced. Army Commendation Medal with 1st Oak Leaf Cluster. Period of Colonel Hubert's leadership and initiative, the medical team has been developed to provide physical examinations and immunizations on a routine basis, thus reducing the number of overdue physicals and outdated immunizations in the command. Wood, Ernest Earl, Colonel 578-58-9193. The following award is announced. Army Commendation Medal with 3rd Oak Leaf Cluster. Period of service 17 March 1989 to 31 December 1991. Because of Colonel Wood's leadership and initiative, an effective orientation program has been developed for all new employees. His management of the AGR program has ensured that our full-time soldiers have retained educationally competitive with their active component peers. Abendroth William Henry Jr., 225-52-6945. The following award is announced. Army Commendation Medal with 3rd Oak Leaf Cluster. Period of service 22 November 1982 to 31 December 1991. Because of Lieutenant Colonel Abendroth's initiative and dedication to duty, all units have received satisfactory ratings in all areas of maintenance and logistics during inspections and evaluations. Akins Christopher Peter, Lieutenant Colonel 229-60-5561. The following award is announced. Army Commendation Medal with 3rd Oak Leaf Cluster. Period of service 16 July 1987 to 31 December 1991. Because of Lieutenant Colonel Aiken's initiative and tenacity, all units and sections have been fully integrated into the automated system. He took the lead in providing the necessary personnel and has instituted a maintenance program that can be used as a model for other states. Jones, Bruce Monroe, Lieutenant Colonel, 227-743744. The following award is announced. Army Commendation Medal with 3rd Oak Leaf Cluster. Period of service 2 May 1990 to 1 December 1991. Lieutenant Colonel Jones' performance of duty as a staff officer has been extremely instrumental in assisting units and soldiers to meet and maintain the highest readiness standards, accomplish many in federal, state, and local missions, and ensure a high state of soldier morale. Montfort, Shirley Ann, Lieutenant Colonel, 265706618. The following award is announced. Army Commendation Medal with 1st Oak Leaf Cluster. Period of service 15 December 1987 to 31 December 1991. While serving as the Recruiting and Retention Manager, Lieutenant Colonel Montfort's performance of duty as a staff officer has been extremely instrumental in assisting units and soldiers to meet and maintain the highest readiness standard. Rogers Aaron Lee, Lieutenant Colonel, 242-89-7769. The following award is announced. Army Commendation Medal with 3rd Oak Leaf Cluster. Period of service 1 September 1990 to 31 December 1991. While serving as Supply Management Officer, Lieutenant Colonel Rogers' performance of duty as a staff officer has been extremely instrumental in assisting units and soldiers to meet and maintain the highest readiness standard. Gardner Joseph Clayton III, Major, 227-80-2477. The following award is announced. The Army Commendation Medal with 1st Oak Leaf Cluster. Period of service 1 April 1990 to 31 December 1991. While serving as the Deputy Inspector General, Major Gardner's performance of duty as a staff officer has been extremely instrumental in assisting units and soldiers to meet and maintain the highest readiness standard. Turner Stanley David, Major, 587-46-0424. The following award is announced. Army Commendation Medal with 1st Oak Leaf Cluster. Period of service 24 September 1990 to 31 December 1991. While serving as the Service and Supply Officer, Major Turner's performance of duty as a staff officer has been extremely instrumental in assisting units and soldiers to meet and maintain the highest readiness standards.
Let's give all these folks a round of applause.
We have several officers who could not be here today who also receive awards. Colonel Timothy E. Neal, Army Commendation Medal with 2nd Oak Leaf Cluster. Colonel Bertram J. Nichols, Jr., Army Commendation Medal with 4th Oak Leaf Cluster. Lieutenant Colonel Michael P. Bryhop, Army Commendation Medal with 2nd Oak Leaf Cluster. Lieutenant Colonel Chaplain David R. Chance, Army Commendation Medal with 1st Oak Leaf Cluster. And Major Evelyn M. Wilson, Army Commendation Medal with 1st Oak Leaf Cluster. And Major Barbara T. Bolden, Army Commendation Medal with 3rd Oak Leaf Cluster. She's here. She's here.
Over here. We'll leave her at the mic here for just a minute, please. Folks do outstanding work. We want to make sure we get them, recognize them, and take advantage of every opportunity. Like, she thought she was going to sneak through that. One of the things you'll notice that in the citations, talk to readiness, and that's really the business we're in here in the National Guard, training and readiness, and that speaks very well to our people supporting the soldiers and accomplishing our mission.
Okay, the following individuals are promoted. Johnson Andrew Jr., Lieutenant Colonel. He was born in Louisville, Arkansas. He was commissioned 1 June 1970. He served in the USAR and in the Arkansas National Guard from 73 to 1983. He joined the DC National Guard 11 May 1983, and he served in many assignments as Executive Officer, S2, S3, Battalion Commander, and he's presently Director of Information Management. He has a degree from AM&N in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He's completed Command General Staff College and has received numerous awards. He's married to Mrs. Peggy A. Myers Johnson. He has one son, Anthony, and one daughter, Makia. Attention to orders. Headquarters District of Columbia National Guard, order number 02-005, dated 6 February 1992. The following named individual is promoted in the District of Columbia Army National Guard. Johnson Andrew Jr., 431-907969, Headquarters State Area Command, District of Columbia Army National Guard. From the grade of Lieutenant Colonel to Colonel, effective 6 February 1992, by order of the Commanding General, and is extended federal recognition in the Army National Guard in accordance with National Bureau Special Order number 27AR, dated 25 February 1992, effective date of rank 6 February 1992, by order of the Secretary of the Army.
Out in ROTC with the purpose in mind to buy a car. They were giving you $50 a month. That was the initial intent to purchase a vehicle, which I did. As a result, I found that there were some other issues that one needs to be aware of in becoming a leader.
As a United States Marine in September of 1969, he was commissioned on 30 July 1977 through the Officer Candidate Program. He served in the USAR and in the Connecticut Army National Guard until November of 1988. He joined the DC National Guard in 1988, and he served in positions of the Equal Opportunity Officer, Battalion Commander, and as a company commander. He has a degree from Central Connecticut State University, a master's degree. He's completed Command General Staff College and received numerous awards. He's married to Mrs. Mary Thompson Campbell, has two daughters, Kimberly and Tynell, and one son, Christopher. Attention to orders. Headquarters, District of Columbia National Guard, order number 157014, dated 19 October 1991. The following named individual is promoted in the District of Columbia Army National Guard. Campbell Charles A., 041428820. Headquarters State Area Command, District of Columbia Army National Guard, from the grade of Major to Lieutenant Colonel. Effective date, 17 October 1991, by order of the Commanding General, and is extended federal recognition in the Army National Guard in accordance with National Guard Bureau Special Order number 33, AR, dated 6 March 1992. Effective date of rank, 17 October 1991, by order of the Secretary of the Army.
General Davis, General Oliva, General Haransky, Colonel Gillespie, rest of the staff and members of DC Guard. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to take the time out today to be here for not only my promotion, but the promotion of the rest of the gentlemen that are here with me today. I'd like to say that I've never reached this point in my career, in my 23 years, if it wasn't for the great enlisted personnel and officers I've had an opportunity to work with. I'd like to personally thank my wife for putting up with all this I've been involved with over the number of years. Sometimes the family members are forgotten, but I don't want to forget my wife, Mary. She's really instrumental in me being here today. I also like to personally thank Colonel Gillespie and stuff for giving me the opportunity to serve as a battalion commander. I think that's a very privileged position, and not too many individuals in their military career get an opportunity to do that. I thank you, Colonel Gillespie. Hopefully, I'll be here to help the DC National Guard to move on to bigger and better things, and to help General Davis and his agenda and where he wants to take the DC National Guard in the future. Thank you.
Major Carvin Calhoun. He's from Pensacola, Florida. He was commissioned 23 January 1976 through the ROTC program. He served in the USAR. He joined the DC National Guard on 31 July 1979. Since joining the National Guard, he served as a mobilization officer, the Battalion S2, S3, Battalion XO, and the Military Support and Plans Officer. He has his BS degree from Florida State University. He's completed Command and General Staff College and has received many awards. He's married to Mrs. Deborah M. Davis Calhoun. They have 2 daughters, Caricia and Cassandra. Attention to orders. Headquarters, District of Columbia National Guard, order number 157-014, dated 19 October 1991. The following named individual is promoted in the District of Columbia Army National Guard. Carvin Calhoun, 264-155390. Headquarters, State Area Command, District of Columbia Army National Guard, from the grade of Major to Lieutenant Colonel, effective 17 October 1991, by the order of the Commanding General, and its extended federal recognition in the Army National Guard in accordance with National Guard Bureau Special Order Number 33, AR, dated 6 March 1992. Effective date of rank, 17 October 1991, by order of the Secretary of the Army.
General Davis and staff, I would like to say, at last. It's been a long time, almost 8 years in grade. But I'd like to say that I want to thank all of you all who supported me during that time, because without your support, I wouldn't be standing here witnessing this ceremony. So once again, I thank you all. God bless.
Major James Ardava Bliss. He's from Hagerstown, Maryland. He enlisted in September 1990, and he was commissioned in November 1977. He joined the DC Air National Guard, and then later joined the Army National Guard in March of 1977. While in the Guard, he served as a platoon leader, a company commander, automation management officer, and he's now the Deputy Director of Information Management. He's completed his BS degree from the University of Maryland and the Command and General Staff College, and has received numerous awards. He's married to Mrs. Belinda Knight David Bliss. They have twin daughters, Jamie and Laura. Attention to orders. Headquarters, District of Columbia Army National Guard, order number 169-017, dated 19 November 1991. The following named individual is promoted in the District of Columbia Army National Guard. Dava Bliss, James R., 217-561607. Headquarters, State Area Command, District of Columbia Army National Guard, from the grade of Major to Lieutenant Colonel, effective 19 November 1991, by order of the Commanding General, and has extended federal recognition in the Army National Guard in accordance with National Guard Bureau Special Order Number 32R, dated 5 March 1992. Effective date of rank 19 November 1991, by the order of the Secretary of the Army.
Members, co-workers, friends, my wife and daughters. Thank you for the recognition and the challenge and confidence that you placed in me with this promotion. And I promise you that I will live up to the task and the challenge. At risk of leaving anyone out, I'd just like to thank everyone, and there's been so many, who have contributed to my career and have provided numerous challenges and guidance to me along the way. I say thank you. I also would like to thank all the Armory staff, everybody here, who has made my transition into the Directorate of Information a very smooth one and has welcomed me with open arms and made my job very easy. With special thanks, I'd like to thank the people, my former co-workers and friends at the USPFO, especially the DPI, and presently now my Director of Information Management staff, who are very special staff dedicated to our support and the needs of our command. And obviously, last but not least, I'd like to thank my wife and kids. Without their love and support, I wouldn't be here. Thank you.
I think one of the things that you heard from each of the individuals, first you heard a little bit about them. Number one, they have the civilian education, they have the military education. They've had the right kinds of jobs in terms of increasing authority and responsibility, which they've taken on and done extremely well at. And for that reason, we're recognizing them and promoting. One other thing of note I think that's extremely important. In the Guard family, I think sometimes we fail to forget that our families join the Guard when we join the Guard. The member may go to the drill, but the family suffers and has to endure those things somebody's got to take the kids to the Little League and somebody's got to take them to dance and those things on Saturday that normally you share in a family, unable to do that because the member is here with us. So we want to say thanks to the families in particular for...
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I know the changes. I can't.
In his leadership of the Guard to all of us in the full Army. She served with selfless dedication in helping Herb accomplish his many tasks these past several years. And she's made a lasting contribution to to the defense family worldwide. And so, Pat, on behalf of all of us, thank you very much. Herb has served in the Guard during a very, very critical time. It's during a period that's seen a quantum leap improvements in both the Air and Army Guard. Combat readiness, overall strength, and modernization of equipment are at a new level. He's played an increasingly central role in bringing these programs to fruition throughout the decade, creating a Guard of unmatched capability, force trained and ready to fulfill the strategic obligations and responsibilities in defense of our nation. He fought hard, as he and I know very well, in defense of the Army's modernization strategy, ensuring that Guard units designated as first to fight were modernized first, receiving the new equipment, and most importantly, the training they needed to do their vital jobs right. And of equal importance, Herb has provided a trained and ready National Guard to the state governments for civil emergencies, disaster relief, and support for domestic order, building on the tradition of 350 years. And today, Guardsmen in 40 states are serving at the forefront of our efforts to combat the import of illegal drugs. And in fulfilling his wide-ranging responsibilities, he's ably represented the National Guard before the halls of Congress, within the Department of Defense, and before the Council of Industry and the national media. He's become a visible, well-recognized spokesman with great credibility, born of his expert, practical understanding of the Guard and of national defense issues. Herb's reputation is unlimited in this country. A good friend of his called me just last week, Sir David Ramsbach, who is the Inspector General of Britain's Territorial Army. And David sent me a personal message extolling Herb's professionalism and devotion to this nation. And he wished me and Pat well in their upcoming retirement. So Herb Temple's years of dedication and service, as well as his personal commitment, have given him an appreciation for the capabilities of the Guard, both Army and Air, and for the challenges that confront Guardsmen everywhere. His lifetime of experience has given him a deep understanding of the citizen soldier, and the delicate balance must be struck between the demands of their civilian and military career. And he knows firsthand the personal and professional sacrifices that Guardsmen must make to ensure that the Guard is trained and ready to meet every challenge. National Guard readiness across the board is at its highest level in the history of the service to the nation. The reason for that readiness is a tough, realistic training that Herb Temple and people like him have demanded throughout the National Guard. We saw in Panama during Operation Just Cause precisely how important training is to winning the fight. And all of our forces, including members of the Magnificent Guard, performed superbly. And they did well because they were trained to a razor's edge, led by great leaders, employed the best weapons we could find, and had top-notch people at every level. The National Guard of today fits that model, and it does so in large part because of the leadership and vision of Herb Temple. Is the Guard prepared to fulfill both its global obligations and its domestic responsibilities? It's a Guard on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, serving in defense of the nation. So Herb, you provide the National Guard of the United States with distinguished service and outstanding leadership. It's made it a vital and a vital part of our defense plan. Not many of us can leave the ranks and go on to a well-deserved retirement, knowing that you accomplished more than you said. And the symbol of your accomplishment is a trained and ready Guard for our total army. So all of us wish you and Pat the very, very best. We thank you both for your contribution. Wish you Godspeed and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, General Temple.
Thank you, General Vono, for hosting this event, and to General Hilbert for the conduct of the ceremony. And of course, I am honored to have the Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force participate. At the time of my announced retirement, I was asked what specific honor I might desire, and I selected this review. I did not to honor me, but I wanted to see one more time the United States Army Band and the 3rd United States Infantry. They're marvelous. You know, in a very short time, I'll become history, and that's as it should be. It's now a time for new men and women to shape the future, and that's a bright future for our armed forces, to include the National Guard, because we've proven that we can achieve peace through strength. I think many of you know that all of my military career has been as a guardsman. I'm immensely proud of the National Guard and to have served as its chief. For the National Guard provides a framework for citizens to serve both their state and their nation. The Constitution provided for a militia, and I believe that the authors of that Constitution would be proud today to see their National Guard as a standing ready to fulfill the role that it describes. I depart the National Guard and the United States Army with the mighty over the past several weeks, there has been outpouring recognition and kindness of activity, and we're very grateful for that. I'm honored by the decorations and awards, and I express my appreciation to all who contributed to this ceremony. I will miss military life. It's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. But I think most of all, I will miss the men and women of the National Guard Bureau, who have become so important to everything that I am. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in just a few minutes, Colonel Barry Zais and Colonel Gene Allen will once again demonstrate to all why the Old Guard and Pershing Zone are the heart and soul of the United States Army. As these marvelous soldiers parade before us, my thoughts will be on the familiar refrain in the Army song. Wherever you go, you will always know the Army is rolling along. I've been privileged to serve 42 years as a part of that Army. Thank you.
On the occasion of the retirement of her husband from active status with the United States Army, Pat Temple is presented with the Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation for her own unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. At this time, General Temple is presenting his wife with a bouquet of flowers for her unselfish devotion and dedication.
They're going to go forward, make a left, make another left, and go in front of Temple. Ladies and gentlemen, General and Mrs. Temple invite you to join them for refreshments.
But let's have a toast to Lieutenant General Herbert R. Temple Jr. and his lovely wife Pat. To the Temple.
Thank you. I'm Joe Boyer, Deputy Commanding General, Special Operations. I have an opportunity as a traditional guards person. I want to thank General Temple. Give the director attention to the ceiling, which is right above about where the temples are at. I have somebody, for safety reasons, is going to give you the lowlight over here. You'll see something, a special forces general, descend from the ceiling with a green beret. That green beret I'm going to give to General Temple on behalf of the Special Operations because of his leadership, vision, innovation, and whatever. I want to present you now.
It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to this reception tonight. Our honorees, Lieutenant General and Mrs. Herbert R. Temple, Jr. And now at this time, I'd like to call on the Commanding General of the District of Columbia National Guard, Major General Calvin G. Franklin.
Thanks, Major Martin. Good evening. I'd like to extend my thanks to all of you that's here tonight. Chief, we introduced a few people, but we also have the staff, battalion commanders, brigade commanders, company commanders, and key NCO, both Army and Air, here present tonight. And I appreciate them adjusting their schedule and being with us tonight to share this experience with us. Let me briefly refer to the purpose of this event. We're here as friends and associates of Captain Herb Temple to express our good wishes and affection for them as they make the transition from active service to retirement. General Temple has completed 42 years of military service to this country. During this time, he's provided outstanding leadership in various positions throughout his military career. I think it's appropriate that we slow down and give appropriate recognition of the contributions he's made to each and every one of us. Chief, I think you'll find that it's going to take you more time to leave your current position than it did to sign up in the California Guard back in 47. He has been a decisive credit to all of us throughout the years. In his current position, he supplied the necessary inspiration, enthusiasm to keep our focus on the goal of improving the overall readiness of the National Guard. This has included training at the highest level, brigade, battalion, and division level. And I can recall most of the training objective for the Guard was platoon level, and you had to fight to demonstrate that you're capable of operating at the company level. We made a lot of progress since that time. All of the indicators reflect that the National Guard overall readiness is at its highest level than any time in our history. We're much stronger, viable, and critical component to the total force. And we're capable of meeting our wartime mission. This is demonstrated annually as we go through the annual training, the overseas deployment. I think each of us can take great pride in that. And Chief, sir, we're grateful for you providing leadership this effort. As the Commander General of the D.C. Guard, and on behalf of all the members of the D.C. Guard, I would like to publicly express my appreciation for the support you've given me in my current position with the D.C. Guard. This support has not been passive or mere approval of the proposal we put forward. It's been spontaneous, active, and enthusiastic. I recall our efforts to bring F-16 to the nation capital. I thought we deserved them. Russ Davis had worked hard, and we had the capability of making that happen. I call on your support, and you spend a lot of your time and effort to assist me in that effort. The Black Hawk is another example. We talked about the need for Black Hawks here in the D.C. Guard, and we demonstrated that there's an application for them in the D.C. Guard. I appreciate your support. It took a lot of energy on your part to make that happen. And the other initiatives we've had, such as the White House support, you made a special effort. And you've been persistent in your support, and we appreciate that. What I'd like to do tonight is not to talk about your accomplishment, but just to give you some tangible evidence that we appreciate the contribution you make to the D.C. Guard. We have a series of small presentations we'd like to make to you.
And now I'd like to ask General Weber of the National Guard Association and also a former chief of the National Guard Bureau to please come forward.
Thank you, General Franklin, for providing the Guard Association the opportunity to share the evening with you, and in a very small way to give recognition to our honoree, Pat and Herb Temple. We've had a very interesting, delightful, long association with these wonderful people. And we're not going to miss them, but we're going to keep them involved. And Herb doesn't know yet what all he's going to have an opportunity to do for the DC Association. Most of you know that the Guard Association has been sharecroppers/tenants here at the Armory for since October of 1988. So we're really, the mayor thinks we're permanent residents here because of the sessions that we've had with the mayor's office, directly with the mayor, and seeking advice and counsel and assistance in our new building. We'll be here another 10 months probably, and we've had a great stay here, Herb, and I know you've done so much to help the Armory here with the exercise area and all the other good things that you've done for the Armory. We're having fun living here, and thanks to Cal, we can really do this. Now, permit me to present to you this small token from the Guard Association, presented to Lieutenant General Herbert R. Temple, Chief of the National Guard Bureau, on the occasion of his retirement, 25th of January, 1980.
That's a small token.
The first presentation from the District of Columbia National Guard is a framed letter and a plaque, which will be presented to General Temple by General Franklin, Commanding General. The letter, dated January 19, 1990, reads, "To Lieutenant General Herbert Temple, Jr., Chief, National Guard Bureau. Dear General Temple, I extend sincere congratulations to you upon your retirement after a distinguished 42-year military career. Our careers have paralleled more than 30 years of service in the National Guard. We have been friends as well as comrades in arms. It is for these reasons that it gives me special pleasure to congratulate you upon your retirement. As Director of the Army National Guard and Chief National Guard Bureau, you brought to both positions a wealth of experience, outstanding leadership, extensive wisdom, and foresight. Your efforts left an imprint which will chart the direction of the Guard to the next century. Specifically, you introduced corporate body management procedures to the Army and Air Guard, significantly increased the size and capability of the Guard, established standards for the Guard that were consistent with the active component, and insisted that they be followed, increased the Guard's participation in training worldwide, and improved the Guard's image. I deeply appreciate your wise counsel and unwavering support over the past 8 years. On behalf of all the members of the DC National Guard, I extend our best wishes. Betty and I look forward to a continued friendship with you and Pat during your retirement. Signed, sincerely signed, Calvin G. Franklin, Major General, DC National Guard Commanding General. And we have a plaque that shows the District of Columbia. That will go with that. And the plaque reads, District of Columbia Award of Appreciation presented to Lieutenant General Herbert R. Temple, Jr. in gratitude and deep appreciation for the faithful and valuable services rendered to DCNG, Major General Calvin G. Franklin, commanding 25 January 1990. General Temple has been very supportive in the DC National Guard's modernization efforts, and we would like to publicly acknowledge his support on the acquisition of both the Black Hawk and the F-16 aircraft. We have a photograph of our 2 Black Hawks in flight. The inscription reads, the Capitol Guardians DC&G Black Hawks in flight, presented to Lieutenant General Herbert Temple, Jr., 25 January 1990. Similar support for the F-16, a photograph of our new Fighting Falcon with an inscription that reads, 113th Tactical Fighter Wing DC&G F-16 Falcon, presented to Lieutenant General Herbert Temple, Jr., 25 January 1990. And for nostalgic reasons, we would like also to present you with the framed F-4 Phantom poster. The Phantom has just been replaced by our new F-16s. The highlight of our presentations, which reflects the high esteem we hold for General Temple, is embodied in the next event, which commissions General Temple an honorary 4-star general in the District of Columbia Militia. The Commanding General, District of Columbia National Guard, to all who shall see these, presents greeting. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the patriotism, fidelity, and abilities of Herbert R. Temple, Jr., I do commission him Honorary General Herbert R. Temple, Jr. in the Militia of the District of Columbia, and I hereby confer this honor with all the rights and privileges and do strictly charge all members of the District of Columbia National Guard to render proper courtesy and respect to his office. This commission to continue in force during the pleasure of the Commanding General, given under my hand in the city of Washington this 25th day of January in the year of our Lord 1990, and in the 214th year of the District of Columbia National Guard. Signed, Major General Calvin G. Franklin, Commanding General. reads Honorary General Herbert R. Temple, Jr., 25 January 1990, DCNG. You hopefully have read in your program General Temple's impressive biography of uniformed service to his country, from private to general. You may think this is because of his extraordinary skills. However, we know better. We would like to honor at this time the real reason for his success and good fortune. General Franklin will now present the bouquet of roses to Pat Temple, the driving force behind this great ceremony.
All we ladies know this is well deserved.
And General Franklin, I would like to turn this over again to you.
I'm sure I speak for all of the members of the DC Guard and the total National Guard family. General Weber spoke of their support in August. The other AGs are not here, but I'm sure I can speak for my counterpart, the other AGs and the AG Association. All of us, the National Guard family, certainly appreciate your leadership, the contributions you've made to the Guard, and we've demonstrated under your leadership that we're capable of meeting our wartime mission. General Temple doesn't need any introduction from this group, so I'm not going to introduce him. Sir, I will turn the mic over to you. Thank you.
Yesterday, Pat and I moved from Fort McNair to our home in Arlington. Today was the unpack day. This is our 28th move in 40 years of marriage. Now let me dispel a myth. Myth is that the more you do it, the better you're at it. It is a disaster. And we seem to be getting worse at the whole thing. I suppose the next myth is that retired generals have a fountain of knowledge which everyone is seeking, and that their telephones are ringing off the hook asking their advice. If you've worked in the National Guard Bureau, you recognize that the day you walk out, your history, that the events that take place there are so rapid and so dynamic that to seek the advice of someone who is history is hardly to the best interest of the system. So, John, I won't call you if you don't call me. Well, let me just for a moment focus my remarks on perhaps those that are following at the NCO and company officer level. Because really, I suppose the future of the National Guard in the final analysis will be in your hands. The cast, or the die has been cast, I believe, for the early part of the next decade, and Mr. Montgomery and others will be dealing with those issues later on in this year. But I believe that the National Guard has a bright future because the non-commissioned officers and the company grade officers are probably better prepared to take the National Guard into the next decade than at any time in its entire history. I had the occasion just the other day to visit with General Bono, talked a lot about the years that he and I have served together, and they've been a great many years. And he asked me, he said, what's the most important thing for the National Guard in the future? And I said, it's that we maintain the tempo which we began in the decade of the 80s. I never felt that I could do very much about tanks and airplanes and all of those things that go into the hardware inventory. Sonny has to do those for us. And Vern Weber works very effectively with him to cause those things to happen. But I thought that my charge was to provide to the soldiers, airmen, and officers of the National Guard the opportunity to train in the environment and at the tempo with the sense of urgency that is necessary to ensure, one, that they achieve whatever role our country charts for them, and secondly, that they be able to survive on a very deadly battlefield. I leave the military service feeling in my heart that I have accomplished that. I don't believe that there's every man that can say that he has accomplished what he set out to achieve in his lifetime. And my lifetime quest is essentially to achieve that. And I achieved it because of you. All I did was have the key, and I opened the door, and I let you in. And from then on, you carried the ball, and you ran to the goal line better than anybody would have ever expected. And for that, your nation will owe you a debt of gratitude for a long time. I penned a note today to my colleagues in the National Guard Bureau to say farewell. And I pointed out to them that sometime in the future, perhaps when their children, or maybe their children's children, are talking about an era of peace, if indeed that's what lies ahead of us, that they can take personal pride in the fact that they were there when peace was solidified, and that they played a role in it. And it wasn't on the battlefield, but it was in maintaining a posture of strength and deterrence, which made it clear to our potential adversaries that the United States would fight for its democracy and its freedom. And you've done that. So those of you who will now carry the torch of the National Guard as part of the United States Air Force and as part of the United States Army, because we are inseparable in those associations, I wish you the very best of luck. Pat and I are very grateful that you would come out on a night like this and to honor us, because really, the honor belongs to you, and I will never forget you. Thank you. Good night.
What I'd like to do, though, is say that General Temple spent almost 43 years of his life dedicated to our country, the United States Army, the Army National Guard. In that time, he served almost 20 years, well, almost 25 years, really, in the California Guard, at which time he went to the War College, came to Washington to serve in the Office of Policy Liaison, was the Deputy Director of the Army Guard, was the Director of the Army Guard, and last but certainly not least is the Chief of the National Guard Bureau. I'd like to ask you all to join me, if you would please, in a toast to Lieutenant General, soon to be retired, but not certainly to be forgotten, Herbert R. Temple Jr. and his lovely wife, Pat. May they have as much success in their retirement. I stand corrected, sir. Herbert R. Temple and his lovely wife, Pat. May they enjoy as much success in their retirement as they have enjoyed in their service to their country. And may they have many, many years of happiness and success. To the
That concludes the formal ceremony and the presentation. I think we're very fortunate to have General Conway accepting the baton and the responsibility of the chief. John, I realize the confirmation hadn't taken place, but I do think we're fortunate to have someone who's been in the Bureau for a long period of time. I'm sure that General Conway will draw on the experience and wisdom that he's gained over the years of working both with the Army and Air and working with General Temple and keep the positive momentum going. John, on behalf of all the AGs, declared our full support and cooperation to work with you as you assume your new responsibility. I encourage you, that if you have not had an opportunity to speak to the chief and his lovely wife, Pat, wish them well. There's plenty of food, plenty of drinks. Enjoy yourself. Thank you.